I just finished episode 5 in season 1, and here are my big takeaways. So, Jim, Tabitha, and Ethan are trying to figure out the puzzle of where they are. Jim is allowing the family to write questions along the wall, and Tabitha makes a point that she says, everyone has already asked all of these questions. And Jim says there is something that everyone has missed, though. I thought that was an interesting concept, that there is something that everyone is overlooking that may be right in front of their eyes. Second thing is Sara is in the hospital after she has her seizure in the diner. They did like a flashback, and this time I noticed that in her veins it said kill the boy, and killing the boy is referring to Ethan. And so whatever has her possessed wants her to get rid of Ethan. When she's in the hospital at nighttime, she's talking to Christy, which is the nurse doctor there. And she asked Christy if Christy could do something to let the people go home. Even if it was one bad thing, would Christy do it? Christy then says yes, not understanding really the full concept of what she's asking her. So that confirms Sara's choice to go ahead and go through with killing Ethan. So the next day, Sara ends up talking Ethan and Tabitha into going to see the animals. And while they are going to see the animals, Sara locks Tabitha into the barn, and then she goes and she tries to kill Ethan. She accidentally kills her brother, though, instead, and she realizes that she has made just a horrible, horrible mistake. Spoiler alert. I believe that Elgin and Sara are both being manipulated, and they're being manipulated from the outside forces. You'll meet Elgin in season 3, I believe. But he definitely is relatable to Sara, with them being able to be kind of convinced that they're going to be able to save the day if they end up getting rid of one of the main characters. So Sara believes that if she kills Ethan, then everyone will be able to go home. But obviously, I think that she's just being like manipulated, like I said. Now, one thing that Tabitha noticed early on is that Ethan's leg is healing really fast. They're already in episode 5, but he's almost healed. He's like walking around like normal almost. And while she's wrapping up his leg, Ethan makes a good point. He said, I know that this place is bad, but what if there is someone that's trying to help us? That may be connected to the boy in white. I think that the boy in white is more helpful than harmful. Alrighty. Jade is somebody that I really focus on this episode because the things that he says sometimes are just very eye-opening. So he walks into the bar and he has this radio that he got. And just like the jukebox plays sometimes, the radios also just turn on, like the little transmitter walkie-talkie radios. So when he heard that last episode, he ended up grabbing it and then he's carrying it around with him. He goes into the bar, and when he walks into the bar, he said, this place is a paradox. I had to Google what paradox meant, and it is a statement or a situation that is logically inconsistent. And so Jade makes a point of saying, we can't get out of here until we learn where here is. And in order to solve a paradox, you have to understand the paradox. And then they talk about this story with a cat in a box, and you don't know if the cat is alive when it's in the box. And I'm just like slightly confused because obviously a cat can make noise, it could hiss, it could scratch the box, it could also pee, and that would alert the outside people that the cat is alive and it's just in the box. Now if the cat was completely quiet, then yeah, it wouldn't work. So the bartender ends up telling Jade that if there is a cat in the box, then the citizens of Fromville are the cat, and then the box is the town. And once he can alert people from the outside world that people are in the box, then people will know. So I think that he's going to try to use that radio in order to try to do that. Boyd visits a grave, and the grave said Abby on it, and you come to find out that that is his ex-wife, and she died in Fromville. And he talks about tremors in his hand and tells us that his dad had the same issue and that he's running out of time. So he asks Abby for a sign just to see if she thinks that he can save the town. And the episode ends with the jukebox playing a song that he knew, and he ends up saying, "I just got my sign." Now, back to Jade. All right, so I Googled this whole quantum mechanics thing with the whole cat in the box and everything. And one thing that I was curious about is our dreams. So in real life, like in our normal lives, you can be sleeping, yet your brain can take you to another place. And even though I do not think that they are dreaming, because I feel as though that all of them being stuck in one specific dream and not being able to wake up is kind of weird, unless they're in comas, which I have thought about before. What if these people are in a coma, all of them, and they all just end up going to Fromville? Like their mind is in one place and maybe they are in another place. So still, I still don't think that they're sleeping, but I feel as though, like I said, I feel that they could definitely be in a coma. So, going on to episode 6.